When two ratios are equivalent, they are proportional. In fact, proportions can be turned into equations that you can use to solve real-world problems. In this video, we'll be solving proportions algebraically. Let's look at an example. In a healthy ecosystem, the ratio of predators to prey is 3 to 4. If there are 20 prey animals in an ecosystem, how many predators would you expect to find there? The ratio of predators to prey is 3 to 4. This is one ratio that we can make equivalent to another ratio. For that second ratio, we know that the number of prey is 20, but we don't know the number of predators. So we write x, as shown here. We do know that these two ratios are equivalent. So we write the equation 3/4 equals x over 20. And now we can solve for x to find the other equivalent ratio. Here is the equation with x highlighted. Now we want x on the left side of the equal sign, like this. Now we want to isolate x by itself on the left side of the equation. To start that, multiply both sides of the equation by 20, like this. On the left side is x by itself. On the right, 4 divides into 20, leaving 5. So we're almost there. X equals 3 times 5. The solution is x equals 15. So the equivalent ratio is 15 to 20. When solving proportions algebraically, the x can sometimes be in the denominator. Let's look at an example. For a pizza dough recipe, 2 cups of flour is combined with 3/4 of a cup of water. A restaurant has 80 cups of flour for pizzas. How much water is needed to make the pizza dough? We know the ratio of flour to water is 2 to 3/4. We can turn this ratio into a ratio of whole numbers if we multiply both terms by 4. The ratio then becomes 8 to 3. We want to create a proportion with 8 to 3 and the ratio that has 80 for flour and an unknown value, x, for water. Here is the equation. 8/3 equals 80 over x. Notice that x is in the denominator. So as part of the process for solving this equation, we want x in the numerator and on the left side of the equation. Start by multiplying both sides by x, as shown here. On the left, we have 8/3 x, and on the right, we have 80. We want x by itself on the left. Start by multiplying by 3 on both sides, like this. We're left with 8x equals 240. Now divide both sides by 8, as shown here. The solution is x equals 30. So 30 cups of water are needed to make the pizza dough. Let's look at one more example, one that has fractions as both terms in the ratio. To get a certain shade of purple, 3/4 of a gallon of red paint is combined with 2/3 of a gallon of blue paint. There are 14 gallons of blue paint. How many gallons of red paint are needed? The ratio of red to blue is 3/4 to 2/3. To turn this into a ratio with whole numbers, multiply by a factor that eliminates both denominators. In this case, multiply by 12. The ratio becomes 9 to 8. Set up the proportion. Red to blue leads to the equation 9 over 8 equals x over 24. Solve for x. First, switch terms so that x is on the left side of the equation, like this. Next, multiply both sides by 24 so that x is by itself on the left, like this. This simplifies to x on the left side of the equation. The 8 goes into the 24 3 times, and we're left with 9 times 3. The solution then is x equals 27. So 27 gallons of red paint are needed.